So here in this video we will discuss about the anatomy and the significance of the artery of Adam-Kaiwes. So before beginning with the artery of Adam-Kaiwes, we will discuss about the blood supply of the spinal cord. So we have already learned in our previous classes that we have the two anterior and the posterior spinal arteries, which are branches of the vertebral artery, which supply the anterior and the posterior part of the spinal cord. So they descend downwards anteriorly and posteriorly and supply the anterior and the posterior part of the spinal cord. Plus at each level there are segmental arteries or the intercostal arteries which take origin from the aorta, and they supplement the anterior spinal and the posterior spinal artery. So as the anterior spinal artery, it descends downwards at the level of the lower dorsal level, most commonly at the T9 to T12 level, we have a artery of Adam-Kaiwes, which is a branch of the posterior intercostal artery from the aorta. So it takes over the anterior spinal artery, it anastomoses with the anterior spinal artery, and it supplies then the lower dorsal and the upper lumbar part of the spinal cord. So in this region, it is the artery of Adam-Kaiwes which is supplying the anterior part of the spinal cord. It anastomoses with the anterior spinal artery and it supplies the anterior part of the spinal cord. So this is basically the anatomy of the artery of Adam-Kaiwes. So we have the thoracic aorta at a particular level of, supposedly it is T9 level. So at the level of the T9, it is a thoracic aorta which gives a branch posterior intercostal artery which enters through the neural foramina and then gives a branch known as the artery of Adam-Kaiwes. So artery of Adam-Kaiwes, it ascends cranially, form a hairpin like structure, and then it anastomoses with the anterior spinal artery. So this origin can occur either in T9 or T10, T11 and T12. So these are the four main different origins of the artery of Adam-Kaiwes, but it is very variable and it can even occur from the up to L5 level. This origin can even occur from the L5 level. So the artery of Adam-Kaiwes, it originates mostly as a branch of the left posterior intercostal artery. So it is commonly found originating from the left posterior intercostal artery, branching from the aorta between the levels from the T9 to T12. However, its variability allows its origin to be found anywhere between the T9 and L5. So immediately after the origin, the artery of Adam-Kaiwes, it extends through the neural foramina, as we can see here. It extends backward in the neural foramina of the corresponding spinal level, and then it ascends along the anterior surface of the spinal cord, forms a hairpin like structure, then anastomoses with the anterior spinal artery. So this artery of Adam-Kaiwes, it supplies the upper lumbar and the lower dorsal part of the spinal cord, only the anterior part, upper lumbar and the lower dorsal. So any lesion to the artery of Adam-Kaiwes because of any emboli or any trauma will result in disruption of the anterior part of the blood supply to the spinal cord. So once the disruption of the anterior part of the spinal cord occur, it will result in the anterior cord syndrome. So the anterior part of the spinal cord, anteromedially, it contains the corticospinal and corticobulbar tract, which are the motor output, and it contains the spinothalamic and the spinocerebellar tracts, which is responsible for the pain, temperature and the proprioception. So while the posterior columns, which includes the vibratory sensation, the posterior fasciculi, conatus and the gracilis of the dorsal column, they are spared. So only the motor output and the pain, temperature and proprioception is affected in case of anterior spinal cord syndrome because of disruption of the artery of Adam-Kaiwes.